We are from the Mud Collective. This is the podcast with KO and TMQ. We apologize for the hiatus, but we back with a whole new game. You know what I'm saying? Stay tuned. We got a good show for y'all lined up today. We coming back with all new content, all new topics. We leveling up around here. Just stick around and stay tuned.
People, they tend to get confused when you say, oh, I'm on Twitter, I'm on X, whatever the case may be. But I'm looking up right now. So a cat from Iran, I guess he's one of the generals. He's saying that his name is Yerman. He says that it will attack U.S. ships in the Red Sea if U.S. continues to bomb Iran. But like again, like we only hit it one time, and people just crashing out and stuff like that with the whole we're going to World War III and this and that. And which me personally, war it how can I put this? It's good for business, but it's bad for the economy. You know what I'm saying? Because again, all you got to do is follow the money. So I like to tell people all the time, if you follow the money, you can see the whole picture. You can see the whole big picture, and you got to pay attention to these companies. It's already bad enough that they saying in California, July 1st, the gas prices, they're going to go up. They confirmed that. They wasn't BSing, but people fail to realize that if we initiate war in the Middle East, everything's going to go up. Food, gas, the cost of living. People worried about getting drafted. I've been seeing a whole bunch of memes. I mean, some of them are funny. I'm not gonna lie, they funny as fuck. But the rest is just corny. Everybody's information, what they're gathering, is just other people's opinions, and they're not based off facts. So you got this whole big ass narrative of what's false rather than the truth, and people just crashing out. They talking about getting drafted. Oh, they're going to draft us, and this, that, and the other. I don't know. It's
crazy, right? That's what people believe everything they fucking hear and everything they read and everything they see. They even got people talking about, oh, we need to go out and get candles and flashlights and canned goods and extra water and shit like that, man. But like you said, man, it's good for business, but it's bad for the economy. I personally think that it's about to be just a financial reset on the country.
I believe that too.
Yeah, it's just going to be a financial reset. And I think that that's all that Trump is trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Hate Trump or love him, I don't I don't agree with probably a lot of shit that he does. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get too political about my personal political views. You know what I'm saying? But I believe that he's trying to just reset the country financially. You know what I'm saying? So
And I believe
shutting off all oil supply to the country. You know what I'm saying? So that means like we're not gonna be able to get no gas. You know what I'm saying? And wherever we are gonna get it from, that shit might be $10, $20 a gallon type shit. You know what I'm saying?
facts.
So
Because and that's something that I had read too. I had read that 43% of the oil reserve is in the Middle East. So it's like what are we doing? Because again, I understand that, okay, we going to war or allegedly going to war, or we got issues with, we're trying to stop the Ukraine Russia beef, we're trying to stop the Iran and Israel beef, but as a whole in the United States, what are we doing? Because we seem too distracted with everything that's going on outside of the U.S. versus what's going on in the U.S. You know what I'm saying? And again, I haven't done my extensive research, so I can't sit up there and say what Trump has done, what he hasn't done, but just based on everyday living and what I'm seeing, going to the store. It's like, goddamn, I spent $100 on some lunch meat, some cheese, a bag of chips, and damn near some bread, and I'm coming out of pocket. I'm bleeding in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? And before people start saying, oh, well, maybe you should get a better job and all this, trust me, I'll make well enough in order to sustain living. But again, I can't take the extra cost in order to invest it or put it somewhere where I can actually get money in return or profit in my pockets. Right. So there is no benefit as far as what I see what's going on in the economy. And again, just like how you say, I'm keeping my political views and opinions to myself. But again, what are we doing? Again, gas is going to go up within the next couple of weeks.
yeah,
What are we doing? I can care less about what's going on in the Middle East as long as it doesn't affect the U.S. But since we dropped those bombs over there, and again, I get it. You know, Trump said that, hey, we can't have Iran get a hold of nuclear weapons. Okay, I get it. And he did state last week, hey, let's have a conversation. Let's come to the table. Let's talk. They refused to do it. So he said, okay, fuck y'all. And he did what he did. But moving, you feel me? So it's like moving forward, what? Because he stated after, the bombing was successful and, now it's time for peace. Right. Bro, what? No.
Nah, it's over. They're not trying to hear that. And they already stated that everything that happens from here on out, the United States is gonna feel it too. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, but I like I said, man, I just think that Donald Trump is trying to reset the country financially, but he's going about it the wrong way. Like you jumping in other people's beefs, you know what I'm saying? That don't have shit to do with us. You feel me? So
it don't.
And Donald Trump, he has a tendency to be a bully. He definitely talks too much. He definitely sticks his nose where it don't belong. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. We're gonna see what happens though, man. Are we on the verge of World War III? Could be not.
Mm-hmm.
I hope not, but you know what I'm saying? But what I will say that my personal opinion, I feel like the world, well, the United States is getting ready to convert to digital currency because the US dollar is not going to mean shit in a lot of places that we go from here on out. You know what I'm saying? The United States, the US dollar is already dropping in value. You know what I'm saying? So if you pay attention, like Donald Trump he's squeezing in cryptocurrency, like here and there. He's dropping money on certain crypto coins, and he's doing a lot of investing in cryptocurrency. And he said that the United States is going to be the top cryptocurrency country. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's just everything is getting ready to shift to being digital. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, the monetary reset is already here, and this is just the start of it. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not invested in crypto, like I tell everybody, you better do it now while it's early.
And you know what? That's funny because I'm surprised that we haven't shifted towards cryptocurrency as of today. Especially with AI blowing up. AI is going goddamn crazy to the point where you can't even tell the difference between reality and AI. And I know there's some videos out there that you can kind of tell, the background of the eye be glitching like this and stuff. But
better, they're getting better and better, man. It's like you gotta watch that shit like 2 or 3 times. Like, is this fake or is this real? And that's scary. That's scary.
No, real shit. Real shit. And what? It only took 2 years because back in 2023, they were still trying to, kind of tweak it a little bit. But now in 2025, it's a damn near rendition, and you cannot specifically tell whether it's true or fake. You go on TikTok and they have, I think TikTok now, you have to tell whatever video that you post, if you're using AI, you have to tell it at the bottom that this is AI generated. Because people sit up there and believe that, oh my God, a huge comet or a huge wave slammed into this city, and it'd be false because it's AI generated. So I'm surprised we haven't already transitioned into cryptocurrency due to the fact that technology is advancing every single damn day. The dollar is dead. Whether people want to believe it or not, the dollar is dead.
The dollar been dead, and you saying you surprised that the world hasn't converted to that, but it's happening now as we speak. You know what I'm saying? Like people they don't read in between the lines and pay attention to the fine print. Everybody is just looking at the borderline and what they're hearing on the news and seeing on social media. They're taking that and they're scared of that. You know what I'm saying? So they're taking that and running with it. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody is going eye for an eye with like all the fine print. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what people need to be doing. So me personally, in my own opinion, like I know what's going on. I'm not I'm not panicking. I'm just I can see right through it. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, man, and even speaking of AI, man, fucking AI has a crypto. Like there's a
Okay, that's new.
yeah, there's a crypto company that's AI based.
Uh-huh.
Saying so this is just the beginning. Like I said, this is just a monetary reset of the country.
Mhm.
And and we're gonna see that 5 to 10 years, that's all it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Like the United States dollar is not gonna be nothing but a piece of fucking paper. You could pull out $10,000 and they're gonna look at you like, no, we don't take that. You
And
know what I'm saying?
see, and this is where people are missing the boat. You know what I'm saying? People missing the boat, and you can't blame your circumstances on, oh well, because of the president or because of my environment. No, there's so much information out there, legit information. Let me make that clear. There's so much legit information that you can sit up there and teach yourself. But people put their interest in the wrong BS. You know what I'm saying? You want to sit up there and learn how to weave. Why? How is that going to benefit you? Are you getting monetized off that? No. All you doing is scrolling, looking. You feeding yourself a bunch of bull that doesn't necessarily help benefit you. You know what I'm saying? Again, you should be learning about cryptocurrency. You should be learning about assets because the way the economy is right now, the economy it's excuse my language, is shit.
Right.
It's shit.
Facts.
And people want to blame their circumstances on outside forces that don't got nothing to do with them, but you fail to realize that this is your fault. Every time you get up in the morning to brush your teeth, look in the mirror and ask yourself, why am I broke? And then once you spit out your toothpaste and look up in the mirror, there's the reason right there. You know what I'm saying? You fail to transition into cryptocurrency because we know the value of the dollar steady deteriorating. You fail to learn about assets, trying to get into real estate, buy yourself some property, buy yourself some land. You fail to do that. You fail to invest and learn about the stock market. You know what I'm saying? But you willing to go clock in your 9 to 5, and guess what? They say, hey, we got a, excuse me, Mr. Johnson, we got a new training program. We're going to need you to study for this week and, take the test. That way you can continue working. Oh, you going to do that?
Right.
You going to do that? You going to sit up there and get on your phone? I got to take this test and stuff, let me go to Google. Let me go to Chat GPT. How is it that you're trying to increase your knowledge in a 9 to 5 at a job that they don't give a fuck about you? They don't. They don't give a fuck.
You're never gonna become a millionaire. You're never going to be successful, and you're never going to become a millionaire working for somebody else.
It's not
your employer a millionaire, but nobody that has ever had a 9 to 5 has become a millionaire. And guess what? Ain't nobody finna offer you a piece of the company or hand that company over to you because you've been a good worker for all this time. It's never going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
And that's
the dollar depreciation is upon us. And you have to pay attention to that. The dollar depreciation is here. It's happening now. It's happening in real time. You just got to read between the bullshit. Stop watching the fucking news. Stop feeding into everything you see on fucking social media because it doesn't mean shit. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, man, people are falling for the okie doke, but now is like you have, this is your opportunity. Why it's still early in the game. This is your opportunity. You know what I'm saying? Like not only is everything converting to digital currency, but since it's so early on, you have an opportunity to create generational wealth just by investing.
Exactly.
Educate yourself a little bit on what cryptocurrency is. Get all your fucking money out the banks before you never have access to it again. Invest in digital currency. Don't say I didn't tell you.
And see, I want to bring up something real quick, Kay. And it's funny because, like you said, this is another financial reset, right? I'm surprised, and I'm guilty of it. God knows I'm guilty of it. I'm surprised nobody didn't learn their lesson from the first financial reset. That was COVID. You know what I'm saying? And at the time, I was working as an armed driver for money trucks, and just the banks alone, there was so much panic because there was no money in the banks. Everybody was just withdraw. So basically my work was short at the time during COVID because there was no money to deliver. Banks are panicking, banks are shutting down temporarily, but that should have told you something though. That should have told you, okay, if I got a couple hundred, a couple $100 grand, maybe 20 grand, let me pull this out. What can I do? Oh, okay, well, Bitcoin's popping, Ethereum's popping, all these different cryptocurrencies. Let's stay away from the meme coins. We're staying away from the meme coins. But crypto in itself is booming, and that's a way to secure your money. You know what I'm saying? Because once you put your money in the bank, you necessarily don't have money. Why? Because once you put $100 in there, they take your $100, they go invest it within their fund or within their share. You know what I'm saying? So when you want to withdraw, they're taking money from your neighbor and then giving it to you. That's how the banking system works. But nobody don't want to do the research, and that's what frustrates me.
Right. So when you go make your deposits at the bank, your money is available to them instantly. But when you want to take your shit out or you deposit some shit, you gotta wait 2 to 3 business days.
You see what I'm saying?
So but I do have to disagree with you on one thing you just said. Stay away from meme coins. Okay, so listen, you got Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the big dog, you know what I'm saying? And then you have altcoins. You feel me? So it's like whatever Bitcoin does, the altcoin follows. Whatever the altcoin does, the meme coin follows. You know what I'm saying? So Bitcoin, is projected to get maybe to 150,000, maybe 200,000 within the next 5-10 years. So it's like, okay, altcoins and meme coins, they haven't really had no major bull runs yet, and it has to happen. You know what I'm saying? So I will have to disagree with that because even though like I'm heavily invested in Bitcoin, I'm heavily invested in altcoins, and I'm heavily invested in meme coins. And if you pick the right meme coins, if you do your education on meme coins will make you fucking rich.
True.
And so whoever watching, don't let that shit go over your head. You know what I'm saying? But cryptocurrency, digital currency is definitely the way to go, and it is definitely the future. It is happening in real time. It's happening right now, and right now it is still your opportunity to set yourself up for generational wealth. And that's just simple as it is. You know what I'm saying? Again, stop watching the fucking news. Stop paying attention to every fucking post you see on social media because it's just scare tactics.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's just scare tactics. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that and you heard it here, man, from the mud.
You already know.
What's going on with your boy Tyler?
Okay, so hey, check this out, right? So I actually got sent this. I got sent this by my boy, and allegedly he's being sued for I think 20 million for 20 million for SA. Now, me personally, I think, we talked about this off cam, that is it a possibility he could be a Diddy 2.0? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. So look.
Oh, I'm gonna let you kill no.
Look, on some real talk though, all BS aside, on some real talk though, you are proven you are innocent until you're proven guilty. You know what I'm saying? To me, is this kind of like a cash grab? That it's a possibility because we're again 2025 has been a weird ass year. You know what I'm saying? You got the shit with Shannon Sharp. You got NBA players, not on a verge of this type of, allegations, but more so like abuse with their baby mamas and stuff. And they getting railroaded in the courts, millions upon millions of child support. It's just, how do we, I mean, I'm not saying that you won't be able to avoid certain situations like this, but it's like, goddamn, at one point in time, it gets old. It gets old. You know what I'm saying? Ever since the Diddy stuff happened, it seems like every other 3 to 6 months, somebody's coming out. This person was essayed. This person, they got raped. This person, running a sex trafficking ring. Like, it gets old. It really does. It gets old.
It does get old, and you know, you know, I'm just one of those types of people. Like, I don't think like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I'm not saying that. Okay, so you're saying, you know, the it's the Diddy thing, right? But when you
Mhm.
look at it, like, it started before Diddy. Look how they did Bill Cosby. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm.
you got people like Suge Knight, right?
Mhm.
That doesn't really is not really a threat to white people, right? Okay,
Mhm.
you got some gangster ass nigga, you know what I'm saying? Some blood nigga that was bullying everybody in the music industry, right?
Mhm.
Okay, and then you have people like Bill Cosby, who was going to buy NBC, right? He got
See,
all
I
his
didn't even know that.
NBC, right?
Uh-huh.
Diddy, okay, who actually owned his own television network. He was getting ready to start a black political party. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like black men with money and power is a threat to white people because white people want to stay on top. They don't want to see, you know what I'm saying, like people from our culture on top and making plays and calling shots with a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? That's just
Yeah.
the way I see it. Now, as far as what Diddy does in his personal life, whether he's homosexual or not, you know what I'm saying, that doesn't have anything to do with the bigger picture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I have my personal opinions on Diddy and his sexuality, but it don't have nothing to do with nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people out here that's doing questionable shit or shit that we don't agree with as a culture in the community, but it doesn't have nothing to do with nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
like that's why, somebody like Diddy trying to get pardoned by Donald Trump, right? I don't see that happening. You know why? Because he's a threat to white people. Nigga, he sued Ciroc, you know what I'm saying? Because they did him dirty. He busted him out. He embarrassed him. He got all that money from Ciroc. He became a billionaire. He's a successful black man. You know what I'm saying? You got people like Kodak Black. You got people like NBA YoungBoy. And no diss to them because I fuck with both of that music. You know what I'm saying? But they're not a threat to white people. They're just another YNs, putting out music to poison the community, you know what I'm saying? And like keep black people set back in that same mind frame that they're in. You know what I'm saying? They're not a threat to white people because they're not making big plays like that to reset the community or do no positive shit, you know what I'm saying, for the culture. You feel
Yeah.
me? You know, as far as um, Diddy trying I'm sorry, as far as like Tyler Perry and shit, another successful black man. Look at this big ass production and movie company that he has. I was watching that shit on YouTube last week. I think it's like over 300 acres. That shit is beautiful. Like,
It
look at it.
really is.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying, man. And it's like, you know, we got people. It's like once they put out a narrative about, a black man or anybody in black with power. Oh, they're gay. Oh, they're committing SA, or they're drugging people, or they're sex trafficking and shit. All you got to do is put that information out to the black community, and and they're gonna leave it to us to tear each other down. All the white people got to do is say it one time, and then they'll leave the rest up to us to drag each other through the mud and slander each other's name and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just my opinion. People are going to agree. People are going to disagree. I don't care. All comments and all feedback is welcome. You know what I'm saying? But that's just the way that I see it. Now, like I said, are these people, are they really innocent? I'm not saying that they're not guilty of, any of the shit that they're accused of. But like all that other shit, it's just excessive. Look, come on, let's look at Jay-Z, right? When have you ever let when have you ever seen the NFL leave it to a black man to make decisions? Like that's a lot of power. The first time you seen hip hop artists at the Super Bowl was Snoop and Dre. Snoop up there walking, you know what I'm saying? It was a bunch of niggas up there, you feel me? And it's like, okay, Jay-Z, he got mob ties. You feel me? He has mob
Fact.
ties. So then all of a sudden, Jay-Z, another successful black billionaire who can call shots, he has power and he can push buttons, right? Then all of a sudden the essay case come out on Jay-Z. Then boom, all of a sudden you don't hear about it no more. Whoever was accusing him came out with an apology, like, oh yeah, that was bullshit. I apologize, boom. And you never heard about it again.
Wiped away.
You know what I'm saying?
Snap of the fingers, wiped away.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like you just have to like you have to just like read between the lines and like look at the fine print and shit. You cannot believe everything that everybody say. And then that's the problem that I have with our community. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like when you hear some negative shit, people take it and run with that. When you hear some positive shit, people look the other way.
That right there. That right there. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I never understood why us as a community we push the negative agenda where positive things are being overshadowed by that. You know what I'm saying? Again, you can't. And here's my frustration. I'm gonna just lay it all out. Here's my frustration. It goes back to like the Black Lives Matter in the protest that we do, right? So if a cop or just anything in general, if a person of color, and I think that we got one situation going on as a culture where I'm not sure if you heard about it. I'm not sure if he was a track team member or something like that. It was a young black kid, right? He killed a white kid in self-defense, but he's going to jail for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's things like that that will come outside, we'll protest, we'll do this, we'll do that. But then when you have a situation like Diddy, you got a situation like Tyler Perry, you got a situation like Shannon Sharp. We all, I'm talking about all of us, not just a small minority, all of us come outside and then drop the judgment hammer. You must be gay. Oh, you a creep. You like young women. Oh, you too old for that. You know what I'm saying? And if you pay attention to social media amongst like Black Twitter, Black Instagram, things like that, these TikTok videos, they getting like 151,000 likes, views and stuff like that on something that's negative. But then you can't sit up there and highlight and get those amount of likes to a person that just graduated college and he made an app. You know what I'm saying? He's a financial instructor and he's teaching about finances. Y'all don't highlight that. Y'all skip past that shit like, oh, it's not interesting. You know what I'm saying? It's that toxic mindset that we as a community have to get out of, because you don't see nobody in any other community doing that to their people. You know what I'm saying? And even if it does come out or somebody has something to say about it, the majority comes and shuts it down.
Facts. Talk, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, R. Kelly, you know what I'm saying? Like, now I'm not excusing R. Kelly for what he did, because you have a problem, fam. You know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
for real.
If you're sleeping with kids, like, you have a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, something's wrong. You know what I'm saying? If you're sleeping with kids, I'm not excusing that, and I don't condone that. You know what I'm saying? But how is it that Harvey Weinstein went to jail for the exact same shit, and he got shown all kind of love and lenience? I believe he got pardoned. You know what I'm saying? If he didn't get pardoned, I believe that they're on the verge of trying to let him out. You know what I'm saying? I got to go back and do some research on that, so don't quote me. You know what I'm saying, for whoever's watching. But you got Harvey Weinstein that did the same shit. You don't hear the white community tearing him down. They don't even talk about it.
They don't. On some real stuff, I completely forgot about old boy. It was in the media for a little bit, but then guess what?
It went away.
Went away.
And then it's like, come on, man, you got everybody in the black community. No Diddy this, no Diddy that. Like, shut the fuck up. Because if you weren't, were any of you motherfuckers at a Diddy party? No. And then the motherfuckers that was actually at a Diddy party, a lot of them were saying like, okay, I was at a Diddy party and I didn't see none of that shit going on. But nobody's talking about that.
No.
Everybody's going to talk about the baby oil and this, that, and the third, and the freak offs and shit. But nobody actually came out and said that there was any freak offs. You know what I'm saying? Except for who? Cassidy, whatever the fucking name is, who's actually suing him for some money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to make it make sense. You can't believe everything you fucking hear. You know what I'm saying? It's just like they did Diddy cold. I'm sorry. They did Diddy dirty. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm sorry, bro. Like all that no Diddy shit, like that shit pissing me off. Like, shut the fuck up, nigga. If you wasn't there, how the fuck you know what went on? You know what I'm saying? So,
and here's what killed me the most, right? Because average people like me and you, not saying we do it, but average individuals, they have freak offs. They got orgies. You know what I'm saying? You go to Sunset in Hollywood over in LA. You know what I'm saying? Go to the little shady alley with the big ass hotel. They having that every Friday, Saturday night, if not all weekend. You know what I'm saying? So why are we acting like this is brand new because a celebrity is doing it? Come on now. All the celebrities do it. They ain't going to highlight it. You know what I'm saying? They ain't going to put their personal business out there. But why are we acting like this is just such a surprise? Oh, my God. I mean, the man is a billionaire. Let him have as many freak offs as he wants. You know what I'm saying? Whether he pouring baby oil, syrup, chocolate syrup, freaking whipped cream, whatever he's doing, again, it's not something that's abnormal. The man is freaky. Let him be freaky.
And whatever he does in his bedroom, in his personal life, is his fucking business.
Like,
that's not important. Who he's sleeping with is not fucking important.
Because at the end of the day, how does it affect your life? You know what I'm saying? How does it affect your life? Are you mad because you can't have a freak off? Right. Shit, go have one then.
No, it's because negativity sells. You know what I'm saying? Negativity sells, like bullshit sells. You know, like you got rappers, talking about killing niggas and this and that and Blicky and all this shit and fucking Percocets and lean and all this shit and gang banging and sliding on the ops and all this shit, nigga. Like, and then you have conscious rappers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you got conscious rappers that'll never get on top like that.
No.
You got conscious rappers that'll never do that shit. Besides Kendrick Lamar.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? That's it. It's so many underground conscious rappers that people never heard of, but people don't want to hear shit like that because it's positive.
Facts.
You know when you go to a rap concert, bro, 95% of the audience is white.
That's a fact.
And that's just a problem that I have with our community. You know what I'm saying? We would be cold if we stuck together. You know how much strength we would have if we stuck together. You know how much power, you know how many things we could do if we just stuck together. But motherfuckers don't want to hear shit like that. Motherfuckers would rather tear each other down and make memes and make jokes and tell the story like they was fucking there and you don't know shit. So shut the fuck up.
Exactly. And you know what it boils down to, Kay? And it boils down to the mindset. You know what I'm saying? If everybody can revert and just swap the narrative instead of me listening to, all day, every day, freaking about going sliding on somebody, you know what I'm saying? About being fucked up all day. At one point in time, what's crazy, at one point in time, us as a community, we used to shame people that was into that type of activity. But now it's so accepted. It's like we champion it. You know what I'm saying? You got, you have a homeboy or you have an artist that'll do a triple murder. I mean, hey, no disrespect, but Lil Durk is a perfect example. And then you up on Instagram talking about free that man. What? But you can't uplift somebody that just worked his ass off all goddamn year for years in order to get his master's, you won't uplift that. You won't even give it a like. You'll swipe up on it. And then turn around, Little Durk's allegedly accused for murder, or so-and-so's allegedly accused for murder. Oh, that ain't right. That's fucked up. Free the homie. Right. What? And you know this man is a monster? Come on. Come on.
Up the fucking internet like that shit is important. It's fucking not.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, what are we doing? But then in the same breath, you'll say, I'm oppressed. What? You oppressing yourself. And if anybody feels some type of way, again, get out of your feelings, get out of your emotions, sit back and actually think with logic. Don't get offended, because all you got to do is just look around, pay attention to you, not the world, but our culture. Just pay attention. We promote ratchetness. You know what I'm saying? We promote killing. We promote tearing each other down over the internet. You know what I'm saying? The perfect person. Look, you have, as far as people with money and influence, I hate to say it, you got Drake, unfortunately, but hey, some people, they believe it or not, but let's just focus. You got Drake, you got Kendrick, you got at one point you had Diddy before the allegations, you have Tyler Perry, you have 50 Cent, you got Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? 50 stay doing the clown shit. Don't get me wrong. It's funny, but when do you stop?
Right.
When do you stop?
Right. Like, I don't know. I'm sorry. Like, it stopped being funny with 50 a long time ago to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it stopped being funny like a long time ago. Like, bro, like, go find something else to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, leave motherfuckers alone, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not funny no more. Like, you are the biggest fucking troller. Like, leave it alone. You know what I'm saying? But you just have to, like, you got to really dig into your history. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not our fault that we're this way. You know what I'm saying? We've been conditioned to have this mindset. You know what I'm saying? It's not our fault that we're this way. It goes way back to way back. You know what I'm saying? But that's another show, another topic or whatever. But you really got to know your history. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've been conditioned like this. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, you talk about some positive shit or you talk about changing your mindset, motherfuckers don't want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers don't want to hear it. So it doesn't cause anything but hate amongst the Black community. It doesn't cause nothing but us to go against each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, where is the love? Like,
it's frustrating.
You know what I'm saying?
It's like, frustrating, man.
Like, we'd rather be fighting and shooting and killing each other and mad dogging each other and walking down the street and not speaking, you know what I'm saying? And worry about what motherfuckers is doing in their personal time and in their personal life, which none of that shit has nothing to do with nothing.
That's facts, man. That's facts. And it's just, and I'll say this, and then I'll say this and I'll leave it alone. It's just, we really got to get it together. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like me, I'm a 9-to-5er. You know what I'm saying? I'm a 9-to-5er, but just because I'm a 9-to-5er don't mean I don't preach and push entrepreneurship. I believe that everybody should at least dip their toes in the water going towards entrepreneurship, because as you stated earlier, that you'll never get rich making another man rich. You know what I'm saying? And again, if people want to challenge that and be like, oh, that's not true. Okay, then tell me your structure. You know what I'm saying? Because if you working there 15 years thinking you're going to get rich, come on now, you wasting your time. You wasting the valuable asset of your life, which is time. And I say that to say is that we really have to do better as a community, as a collective, because we're always going to continue to be on at the bottom of the totem pole. We keep setting each other back. It doesn't have to do anything with your environment. It doesn't, and for the people that say, oh, because I was raised like this. Okay, once you turn 18, you're well enough and you have the knowledge and the conscience in order to switch that mindset. You don't have to be binded by what happened to you as a child. No, you continue to progress and fix that state of mind. That way you can move forward. You can't sit up there and play victim, because guess what? If you want to sit up there and blame your circumstances on how you was raised, then you get a ticket to the Victim Olympics. So go run it. Go run it. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm tired of the look. I had got off work, I want to say around 2:00 in the morning one day, right? So mind you, I'm in full work uniform. I look like I'm tired. I'm stressed out, had personal issues going on in my life, and some YNs pulled up in the Dodge Challenger. Now, where I was at, it's not like the gas station was empty. No, you had, white people. I seen an Asian dude, had a Mexican dude. Why is it that you pull up and you looking at me though? Oh, hey, what's good, bro? What's good? Oh, nothing, man, it's just one of them days. Okay, that's what's up. Oh, you look familiar. Bro, I don't know you from a hill of beans, bro. You know what I'm saying? You press me, but you don't press the people that don't look like you.
You press it makes you don't press your oppressors.
You see, come on. What are we doing? That's the stuff that just it be making me want to crash out, because I get frustrated. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, bro, I'm older than you. I'm probably your daddy at this point. Is that why you recognize me? Like, come on. We got to do better. We got to do better.
You press me, but you don't press your oppressors. Do better.
Make it make sense.
I said, my niggas don't dance. We just pull up a pants and do rock away.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Hey, they got him too, though.
Man.
They got him too. They got him too, though. I told you, 2025. 2025 is weird.
This hype man sues for $20 million, claims he was forced into 4,000 sex acts, and says he bought a BBL for a 15-year-old girl. I said, my niggas don't dance. We just pull up a pants and do the rock away. Now lean back.
Real quick, I will say this. That's cap. That is cap. That has to be cap. Now, again, just like I said earlier, you innocent until proven guilty. You know what I'm saying? But 4,000 acts of X, that is wild. That is wild. You know what I'm saying? Now, the whole BBL with the 15-year-old thing, I mean, where are the parents? If that's true, where are the parents? You know what I'm saying? Again.
Listen, check this out. Rapper Fat Joe is accused of forcing his former hype man to engage in thousands of sex acts with women in a $20 million federal lawsuit that also alleges he was underpaid, denied songwriting credits, and threatened. You know what I'm saying? Terrence T.A. Dixon filed a complaint against Fat Joe, members of his inner circle, and Rock Nation in the U.S. District Court for Southern District of New York on Thursday.
Now, before I let you cook, I will say this. This seems more personal, and it seems to me, and again, I'm not saying Fat Joe's innocent. I don't want no smoke. I'm not saying he's innocent, but I'm not saying he's guilty either. But what it sounds like, Terrence, it sounds like you broke, bro.
Facts.
It sounds like you broke. Because if why is all this coming out now, and you sat up there and you performed over 4,000 acts, bro, you should have snitched.
Broken upset.
You broke and you upset. You know what I'm saying? You see Fat Joe popping off on his podcast. You know what I'm saying? And you figured, I should be entitled to that. I helped build his career. You got that sense of entitlement. It sounds like you broke, you mad, and you in your feelings. Uh-huh. Because if you was performing acts with minors, then guess what? How come you didn't hit the whistleblower channel? You know what I'm saying? How come you didn't snitch? So if in my eyes, you just as guilty.
Facts, man.
Come on.
It's funny to me, man. Like, a grown man suing another grown man because you upset, fam.
You mad.
You can't eat off another man. You upset.
Exactly. And see, you know what? Here,
because they're going to help you get some money.
Exactly. And you know what? It's crazy. It's crazy, Kay, because this is something that ain't nothing new. This ain't something that's nothing new, because regardless of celebrities, let's just take the status out. Let's just take the static out between Fat Joe and Mr. Terrence. If they was just average individuals, you know what I'm saying? You see Fat Joe on the rise, you see him eating. Now I guarantee you, old boy, he probably helped him, stuff like that. And Fat Joe probably, shot him a little something. But then it gets to the point where you get jealous because your traction ain't up to par with Fat Joe's. You not putting in the footwork, so you mad at this man for putting in the footwork. So then you hate. You do the sneak dissing. You try to sue. You try to sub. You do all this weird sassy shit. Excuse my language for the younger audience. But you do all this sassy shit. Why? Because you mad, you upset, and you need a hug. You need somebody to hold your hand. You know what I'm saying? You need somebody to hold your hand. Don't get mad at me because, I'm out here putting in the footwork. No, get mad at yourself. Get up off your ass.
Right.
That's what it seems like to me. Again, I'm not saying Fat Joe is innocent nor guilty, but based upon what's being told, it seems like you're running out of money. You're kind of running short.
I think it's cap. I think it's cap.
Me too. Come on, 4,000. Come on. I would have believed maybe 50. I mean, hell, even 100, but 4,000. Come on, fam. Come on. Stop.
I think stop. So what YM was that said that?
So it was just some YN. He was getting interviewed. You know what I'm saying? It was on a podcast. I don't know the podcast. I just seen the clip. But basically he said that, like, and again, we all got our favorites, you know what I'm saying? And we'll be ride or die for our favorites. But he said that Jim Jones is more relevant than Nas. And that kind of blew me away. And he was not joking. That's the crazy part about it. Like, he stood on business. And again, that's passion. I feel him on that. That's passion. But here's the trippy thing about it. So Jim Jones, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Cassidy, it was somebody, but Jim Jones was on the podcast. Oh, no, it was Fat Joe. It was on Fat Joe's podcast. And Jim Jones said, well, yeah, if you think about it, I've had a successful career. I set trends in the early 2000s. Yeah, so I can agree that, maybe the YN was right that, yeah, I am more relevant than Nas. That's delusion, bro. That's delusion.
That's wild.
And then to make matters worse, he doubles down and says, oh, well, pull up my streams, pull up my sales and my records. And again, he said it and I did it. Bro, you nowhere near touching Nas. I'm sorry, no disrespect to Jim Jones. But the numbers showed, since he wanted to play a numbers game. The numbers showed. It's crazy work.
I'm sorry for a YN to say that is crazy work. And then for Jim Jones to second that notion is crazier work. Like, like what you said though? Like
he was saying.
What did he say?
Look. He was basically saying that, like, okay, it was back in the 2000s. Back in the 2000s, I was in high school. You feel me? So the early 2000s. So he's saying, like, like what I can't say like with the pink because who started that? Cam started that. You know what I'm saying? So like
Jim Jones wearing, the loud colors, the big ass belt buckles and the wallets with the chains and shit. Like, what trends did you set, fam? You know what I'm saying? And listen, I fuck with Jim Jones music. This is not a diss. Not at all. You know what I'm saying? No shade to Jim Jones. Shout out to Jim Jones, bro. But I'm sorry, my nigga. Your pen ain't seeing Nas's pen. You ain't set no type of trends that Nas set. You know what I'm saying? Like, your music is like incomparable. Like, okay, when we talking about numbers, okay, so he, him, okay, so before Jim Jones, he when he was with the Diplomats, you know what I'm saying? Like back in the early 2000s, like, they was doing their shit and Nas was doing their shit too. You know what I'm saying? But Nas's music it made more of an impact than the Diplomats, even though it was incomparable. You know what I'm saying? But you couldn't see, you know what I'm saying, Nas's pen back then. Like, your numbers might be outshining Nas's numbers now because Nas ain't dropping like that, and you are.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the only way that I could see that. And like I said, there's no diss and there's no shade because I fuck with Jim Jones music. You know what I'm saying? Like Jim Jones makes dope music, but I totally disagree with that. I'm sorry.
And I disagree too. And see, the YN, he has said that I forgot which one of Jim Jones' albums that I guess was popular back then. I think it was the one that had Ballin' on it. He said that. Here's the crazy thought about it. He said that is better than Nas's couple recent albums within the last 2 year span. King Disease 1 and 2. He said that album is better than the King Disease series. Like, bro, what?
Nah, man.
Like, what are we talking about?
Man, I'm sorry, man. King Disease was dope as fuck, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like everything that Nas has put out is dope as fuck. I just, like wasn't King Disease Part 2 was Nas's last project, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then too, it's just like it's the times, you know what I'm saying? Like YNs are not gonna appreciate the type of shit that Nas does.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Jim Jones don't necessarily talk about just Jim Jones, he makes some good ass music, but he still talk about the bullshit in his music. You know what I'm saying? YNs don't hear nothing that Nas has to say these days. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sorry, like the numbers might be there, but that's just because Nas is not dropping. He's not dropping, and you're still dropping albums. You know what I'm saying? And Nas is not. You know what I'm saying? Just like the Kendrick and Drake thing. You know what I'm saying? Like Kendrick makes conscious music. With a little bit of gangster. You know what I'm saying? And Drake, he's very versatile. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like Drake's numbers was killing Kendrick's numbers because Kendrick don't drop like that. Drake drops every fucking day. Well, now he don't. But before the beef, Drake was dropping shit every day. He was working with any and everybody, and Drake was dropping albums. You know what I'm saying? So that's why your numbers was like killing Kendrick's. You know what I'm saying? But in my opinion, you know what I'm saying? Like, but no, I'm sorry, man.
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Somebody tell me in the comments what fucking trends Jim Jones was setting.
I would like to hear that. Seriously, I would like to hear that because they're
Somebody tell me what trends was Jim Jones setting.
And you know what's even funnier though? What's even funnier is because again, that was the 2000s. Everybody was doing something. I mean, come on now. Remember back in the 2000s when Pharrell dropped the ice creams? You know what I'm saying? So it's like to me, that's the more relevant approach to the early 2000s. I remember the ice creams. Now, I'm not sure if Jim Jones was wearing Bape back then. It's a possibility, but Bape wasn't necessarily attached to you, bro. Again, I could be wrong, but it was Bape and ice creams.
Facts.
Yeah. I want to hear it though. I want to hear it.
So somebody please comments because I can't think of nothing. You know what I'm saying? I can't think of no type of trend that Jim Jones was setting. I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying? And you wasn't even a solo artist like when Nas was hot. You was with the Diplomats. You know
exactly.
Now, if anybody was setting trends around that time, it was Cam.
Facts. Facts.
If anybody was setting trends around that time, it was Cameron, not you. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, Jim Jones, he makes dope music. You know what I'm saying? But I'm sorry, I just don't see it. So somebody let me know, shit.
Hey, I'll bet you, and I'll shoot you $50 within 3 months because this is circulating. He getting his head and ego pumped up. He gonna drop some bullshit.
Oh, come on.
I'll shoot you $50. I promise you. Within the next 3 months, I promise you.
Yeah.
I promise you because he gonna feel like, oh well, I'll show y'all, bro.
Yeah. Show us there. I want to see this shit, bro. I want to see.
But did you see last night though that I meant to ask you about this last night. So I don't know who the hell Morgan Wallen is. I'm not sure if he's a country artist, but he brought out Drake, right? So my feed's been blowing up. He brought out Drake in Texas last night for his concert. And what's crazy, people are saying, and I don't even like talking about this dude. Like it burns me out. But I will say this though. People are saying that Not Like Us is even more relevant today because Drake came out with Morgan Wallen in his Canadian tuxedo. But see, I didn't know who Morgan Wallen was, but people pulled his receipts and they said, what, not even last year or a few years ago, Morgan Wallen is a known racist, always using the hard R. And Drake is walking out with this man like it ain't nothing. He's ever since this beef, he in a weird ass limbo. Have you noticed that?
But man, I didn't know. I don't even know who this person is, Morgan Wallace. You know what I'm saying?
I don't either.
I don't know. Like I said before, Kendrick. He listen, man. You know what I'm saying? He peeled Drake's muffin cap back blue. You know what I'm saying? And
he really did.
And like I said before, man, the They Not Like Us is gonna be the gift that keeps on giving.
Facts.
It's never going anywhere. It's never going anywhere. Like everywhere you look, everywhere you turn, and that shit was what, a year and a half ago. It's never going anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So that's crazy. I gotta look that up, man.
Yeah, that was last night. That was last night. My feed was going crazy, and I was like, okay, what's going on? And sure enough, you know, he pulling out with a racist that uses the hard R. You know, like again, where do you want to fit in at? Because we know your game. You hop on different genres. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't have a home. Hip hop then kicked you out. And you know what? And I will say this, and I meant to bring this up to you. The hip hop reset, and we've touched on this off mic, the hip hop reset is real because the Clips album is coming. Pusha T last week, he called out Travis Scott, and he didn't even double down. He tripled down and basically said on camera on Apple Music interview with Ebro, Travis is not a rapper. He's not a rapper. And then I started thinking about it. I was like, you know what? Pusha got a point. like, bro, what are you? You know, like, are you a rock star or like, do you do alternate? I don't know. All you do is, you know, scream with your long ass face and all this weird stuff. Like, what are you? You know, but again, when it comes to merchandise, Travis Scott, he will sell. Not knocking him for that. He has a cult fan base, but it was Pusha T's snippet, which turned into a song because obviously him and his brother Malice, they're doing a rollout right now. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm not mistaken, what is the song called? Let me see. The song is called man, hold on. Ooh. Let's go to YouTube real quick. Okay, so the song is called So Be It. The song is called So Be It. And Pusha T's last verse, you know, he called out Travis Scott. You know, he talked about Calabasas. He talked about, you know, Travis Scott's baby mama in no disrespectful way. But according to Mr. Pusha T, he stated that Travis has no loyalty. And that's very important, not only in the music industry, but in life in general. Travis has no loyalty. Wherever that bone wags, he'll sit up there and he'll go for the bone. You see, Kanye was one of the motivators. Pusha T was, not Pusha T, Pharrell was one of his biggest influencers, but yet you play the song Meltdown. You play the song Meltdown for Pusha T and Malice in the studio along with Pharrell. You didn't play Drake's verse, And again, hold on, y'all, before y'all sit up there and be like, oh, well, Drake sent his song late and all this and all that. You knew that was a Pusha T diss and a Pharrell diss when you put it out. Mm-hmm. Now, let's fast forward at Rolling Loud when Travis Scott was with Future and Metro Boomin before the beef even started. You heard the song before it was even put out. What did you do? They played a partial of the song. They cut Kendrick's verse out, but here your goofy ass egging it on. No, keep playing it, play that one part. But you make music with Drake though.
Yeah. Okay.
Where's your loyalty, bro?
Yeah.
And I'm glad Pusha T is doing this because Kendrick, he set the standard in order to clear the rap game. Again, he made a song. He watched the party die. This was the great reset when it came to hip hop and music. And then what happens later on throughout the year? You get Joey Badass, with the rap competition with TDE, Ray Vaughn, Daylight. You have that. Nothing but straight bars, good music that's being produced and put out. Here come Pusha T. So what I'm seeing is that it's a trend to get rid of all the BS, all the people that's making money just about we getting rid of all that. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear nothing but your pen, your lyricism as an MC, because guess what? You got into rap because you passionate about it. And what I believe nowadays that nobody's passionate about hip hop no more. What it is just a cash grab. What it is the fan base, the cult fan base, the fame, the fortune, so you putting degenerate shit out there and you expecting a return. You're not passionate about rap. You looking at it as a come up. So I'm glad that Pusha T, Kendrick, and Malice, that they're setting the tone. I'm glad that Joey Badass did that stuff a couple months ago, and Ray Vaughn and Daylight, they participated in it along with Ab-Soul, because I want to get everybody in there. I'm glad that they doing this. You know what I'm saying? Because now it's setting the tone. Yeah. We don't want to hear below average bars. We've been listening to that for years. Yeah. That trend is gone. Yeah. It's time for real hip hop to come back.
That's right. Shout out to K-Dot for resetting the game.
If I'm not mistaken, what is the song called? Let me see. The song is called, hold on. Ooh. Let's go to YouTube real quick. Okay, so the song is called So Be It. The song is called So Be It. And Pusha T's last verse, he called out Travis Scott. He talked about Calabasas. He talked about, Travis Scott's baby mama in no disrespectful way. But according to Mr. Pusha T, he stated that Travis has no loyalty. And that's very important, not only in the music industry, but in life in general. Travis has no loyalty. Wherever that bone wags, he'll sit up there and he'll go for the bone. You see, Kanye was one of the motivators. Pusha T was, not Pusha T, Pharrell was one of his biggest influencers, but yet you play the song Meltdown for Pusha T and Malice in the studio along with Pharrell. You didn't play Drake's verse. And again, hold on, y'all, before y'all sit up there and be like, oh, well, Drake sent his song late and all this and all that. You knew that was a Pusha T diss and a Pharrell diss when you put it out. Mm-hmm. Now, let's fast forward at Rolling Loud when Travis Scott was with Future and Metro Boomin before the beef even started. You heard the song before it was even put out. What did you do? They played a partial of the song. They cut Kendrick's verse out, but here your goofy ass egging it on. No, keep playing it, play that one part. But you make music with Drake though.
Yeah. Okay.
Where's your loyalty, bro?
Yeah.
And I'm glad Pusha T is doing this because Kendrick, he set the standard in order to clear the rap game. Again, he made a song. He watched the party die. This was the great reset when it came to hip hop and music. And then what happens later on throughout the year? You get Joey Badass, you know, with the rap competition with TDE, you know, Ray Vaughn, Daylight. You have that. Nothing but straight bars, good music that's being produced and put out. Here come Pusha T. So what I'm seeing is that it's a trend to get rid of all the BS, all the people that's making money just about we getting rid of all that. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear nothing but your pen, your lyricism as an MC, because guess what? You got into rap because you passionate about it. And what I believe nowadays that nobody's passionate about hip hop no more. What it is just a cash grab. What it is the fan base, the cult fan base, you know, the fame, the fortune, you know, so you putting degenerate shit out there and you expecting a return. You're not passionate about rap. You looking at it as a come up. So I'm glad that Pusha T, Kendrick, and Malice, that they're setting the tone. I'm glad that Joey Badass did that stuff a couple months ago, and Ray Vaughn and Daylight, they participated in it along with Ab-Soul, because I want to get everybody in there, you know, along with Ab-Soul, AZ Chikes, and who else am I missing that participated? And Ray Vaughn, Daylight, AZ Chikes, of course, Joey Badass, Ab-Soul. I'm glad that they doing this. You know what I'm saying? Because now it's setting the tone. Yeah. We don't want to hear below average bars. We've been listening to that for years. Yeah. That trend is gone. Yeah. It's time for real hip hop to come back.
That's right. Shout out to K-Dot for resetting the game.
You can always go to our Instagram. You can always go to our TikTok, From the Mud Collective. Go ahead and follow. We're dropping content almost every single day. So please tune in, you know, just in case you want to stay informed. Again, From the Mud Collective via TikTok and From the Mud Collective via Instagram. Let us know what y'all think. Give us y'all opinions, y'all comments. We always locked in and we'll stay tuned. Just saying.
Yeah. We out.
Peace.